Okay, welcome back to Rolling Out Star Studio here from the studios live in Atlanta, Georgia. We are joined by a very, very special guest today. I'm Rashad Milligan, as always, and I feel a bit underdressed. I feel a bit like, hey,
overdressed.
oh, okay, well,
Yeah, no, you're good.
well, we have Riele Downs in the building. Riele, how you
Hi.
feeling today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I can't complain. Busy day, as you know,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
you might be a little familiar with busy days on this day of February 1st, first day of Black History Month.
Yes, it
The
is.
first, so look at how we starting it. We starting off working.
Off strong.
Look at two Black people working now. But
Working and talking.
exactly. You're doing press day, but you're going directly into the screening tonight for your
Yeah.
new Lifetime production.
Yes.
And it's about you being abducted or someone's being abducted in the
Yes.
movie. So what's a little bit more about what's going on with this
Yeah.
production and your character, Carlisha?
Yes, it's actually a true story. It's about this woman named Carlisha Gaither, who, when she was, I believe, around my age, was just walking home from a family function, and she got abducted right off the street and stuffed in a car and taken and assaulted and all types of not great things, obviously. But because of her kind of the keen way she went about strategizing, she was able to actually escape and send clues out to people of where she was and so that they could track her and free her. So yeah, it's pretty inspiring.
Pretty intense stuff.
Yeah.
I guess, like you got kind of like your big break in America and things like that. First of all, how was the six? How was growing up in the six? For y'all who don't know, she is from Toronto. So,
Yeah.
just how was it growing up in the six? How's Canada? What's the culture like versus America?
Yeah. I love growing up in Canada. To be honest, Toronto specifically, it's like the most multicultural city in the world, I believe, if that's still true. And I could really feel that. Like, although LA is also diverse, like it was just different growing up with like so many different cultures, so many different foods, people. I always went to alternative schools, so I feel like it definitely shaped who I was in a way. And I got to kind of settle into who I was before coming out there, which I loved. It's a fun city. If you haven't been to the Six, you should definitely give it a visit.
Gotta go to the Six.
It's a great place.
I have to ask the basic Toronto questions for it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you met Drake? Do you know Drake? Have you ever been to Drake's house?
I know. I knew it was going to be about Drake. I was like, well, here it comes. I have not, but my sister's actually on Degrassi on the newer version.
Wow.
So there's a little connection there. And then I think my mom, like before he was famous, and he was just coming out with mixtapes and stuff, and no one knew who he was yet. She like went to a party with him. Not with him, but he was at the party.
Yeah,
and then like there were whispers about, oh my god, this kid from Degrassi has this like mixtape, and people were like, no, that won't become anything. Well, there you go. So,
man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Shout out to Drake. Shout out to the Six.
Shout out Drake.
Toronto's amazing. Like we went right after the Raptors won the championship.
That must have been
I
heard that. I wasn't there for that, but I heard that must have been crazy.
Yeah, no. It was just like my first time in the city and first time in the country. So it was like just figuring it out and stuff. It was pretty cool. I liked it. Nice little city.
Yeah.
But going off of that, okay. So your first big break, going back to that.
Oh yeah.
Nickelodeon Henry Danger. I guess, just growing up obviously as a child star. How is it making that transition from another basic question that child stars get asked all the time? But going from that to a serious young adult role now where you're playing someone who was abducted, it's like serious stuff versus like Dan Schneider humor. But,
yeah, totally different beat. So I understand the question. I mean, it's weird. It's like, you graduate off the show and you're like, okay, now what? You don't really know what to expect. You could go into more comedy. You could do something serious. But I think what grounded me in being able to do some more serious roles is I started off doing serious roles. Like when I was a kid, I did a lot of like, Four Brothers and Best Man Holiday and like things that were more serious. So I feel like I always had that in my background a little. I actually had to kind of morph my acting style to be more comedic because I wasn't originally doing any of that. So I feel like I've been able to kind of default back to like, oh yeah, this is how I used to kind of do things. So it's not too difficult, luckily.
A random question now. Do you remember the first time you cussed for acting in front of your mother?
That's a good question. Wait, I don't think I do. I mean, I probably cuss in front of her in real life first, to be honest. So think of that. Oh, but I do. It's still nerve-wracking that like the F word specifically. If I had to say it in a script, I definitely like. She told me before. She's like, "Why are you whispering it?" I don't know. It's just like feels weird to do. So still working out those kinks.
Oh, but do you remember? I guess like the first time you had to do it in a production in a
Hmm.
movie series, and then like maybe you watched it with your mom. Like, do you remember
Mm.
that specific moment?
Like if I like saying a swear word or
Yeah,
something. Hmm. I honestly don't think she's sitting on the
she's saying
side
no.
here.
She's saying
But
no
correct
right
me if I'm
now.
wrong. I don't think I've had a role where I've really been like, da, 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 swearing and all that stuff. I know I had that one. I did this one like in-person audition where they had a couple swear words in, and they're like, "Yeah, just go for it. Like, just give more and
Yeah.
like keep swearing." And I know she was outside, so I don't know. Maybe you overheard that one, but and I was hesitant about that because I was like, "Ooh, they're wanting me to just go for it and say everything here." But yeah,
Your mom seems pretty cool.
she is.
How was like your life growing up? Like you say, you talked about your older sister being
Hmm.
on the newer Degrassi and stuff like that. You guys
Yeah.
grew up obviously, just throwing plays and stuff, everything around the
Hmm.
house, but like just how was it? Like you got a cool mom, a sister that was like on the same wavelength of you.
Yeah.
Like just how was it growing up?
Yeah, it was honestly I had a very good childhood, which I'm grateful for. Um, Pretty close to my family, and we just had a lot of fun. Like my sister and I would always make plays, and like before we were even professionally acting, we would always like make plays and skits and perform it for my mom's friends when they would come over. Lots of drawing, like I do a lot of visual art and like fashion designing and stuff, and I've always done that. Lots of birthday parties. My mom was really good at throwing a good birthday party.
What was your favorite birthday party? I'm gonna cut you over there.
Oh my
What's
gosh,
your
yeah,
yeah.
fair. Oh my gosh, probably okay. We did this huge thing in our building one time where I don't even know how I had the friends for this because I don't think I would now. But regardless, there was like a bouncy house, and I was very excited for that part. So bouncy house and like water balloon fights and cake, another favorite. So probably that one where we had all these like different activities and things going on for people to engage
So
in.
your birthday's in like the warm months.
Yes, July.
Oh well, you guys in LA anyway, so it don't even
I know
matter.
it don't even
Like
matter. Same
your
thing.
birthday could be now, and then you guys are bouncy house, water balloons,
Yeah.
pool party.
Right. I guess that's true.
Yeah. Okay, all right, cool. That's what's up. Do you remember what year that was? How old you
Oh
turned?
my gosh. I know it's pretty young, so I'm assuming like 6, 7, maybe. That's my guess. That's my guess.
Okay.
Mom, confirm, deny.
All right. 6, 7, bouncy house. She said I do this every year. I
Yeah,
can't keep up.
she can't give up.
Man, shouts out to your mom, man. Guess that role of that part of life that you didn't know before you took the role.
Like about her
No,
entering
no, no.
seniors. Oh,
Just in general of like
mm,
black women going missing or being
yeah.
abducted or things to look out for as a young woman in general in America or in the world.
Absolutely. I feel like I had been very, very naive leading up to that point, and I don't even go outside much to be honest. So I just was never even thinking about something like that happening, and I didn't know the specific statistics around it. So to have to play it and like go to those places mentally and do those thought experiments, it's like, oh wow, I realized like my mom and I had a lot of conversations about it, and realizing how real that is, and that it is something that could happen to me, that I hadn't been taking precautions for before. So it definitely makes me more cautious. It makes me feel like my family members, my close friends, especially other young black girls, it's like definitely intensifies the concern for me and makes me want to just spread awareness, which is why I did this role so that we can all stay safe and know of this.
You had a million followers at like the age of 16. Now at 22 going to 20, you have 3 million followers. Knowing that you have that many eyes on you at all times, how does that make kind of like how was growing up for you? Just like, and then your family, what I'm
Yeah.
saying, of just like going out and just kind of doing regular kid things. How was that for you?
I mean, it definitely changes it, specifically because I was working from like age 11/12 to like 18. So I'd never had like an in-person high school experience or anything like that. So in those ways, it's a different growing up experience for sure. I personally I try to stay off social media as much as I can, just because I think that like we can never fully understand that outreach. Like I can't even comprehend what like being in a room with all of those, 3 million people. Like it's just a hard thing to comprehend as a human being, I guess. So I try to like distance myself from that as much as I can. Of course, still interacting as much to show my appreciation. But yeah, I feel like that's how I stay kind of normal on that front, just living my daily life and leaving that as like a separate part.
So I guess who keeps you grounded in that of knowing that like social media isn't real? Because I feel like you've always had a good grasp on that for like as long as I've followed your career or seen your stuff. So where did that come from? Like where did that groundness come from? Humble.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, I feel like honestly, I feel like I've just always been like that. I guess if there's someone, my sister and I are very similar, so we have a lot of conversations and just talk a lot and bounce ideas off of each other a lot. So she's like that intellectual person that I go to for those conversations. But in general, I just feel like I like always had to find my own way to that stuff, because it become a lot, and especially when I was gaining those followers, it's like it's new, it's exciting, but I had to ground myself and be like, okay, wait a minute, let's understand like what these different worlds are and whatnot.
How do you adjust from the world of media that was like cable based and heavy cable to like what it is now, where it's digital streaming?
Yeah, I think about that a lot. You mean as an actor, as a
Yes,
viewer?
as an actress, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, there are more roles out there, so that's nice. But I guess you just kind of have to go for whatever. I mean, I guess I had always, like, when I reached a certain age, Netflix was already a thing. So as far as I've been like sentient and conscious, like streaming has been like in the zeitgeist really big. So I guess I don't even remember like what the cable stuff has like been like, Like I feel like I haven't even watched cable TV and I don't even know how long.
Well, that's the thing. It was like, okay, so Henry Danger, like from my generation, like we're like the millennials and stuff like that. Henry Danger was like the first show on Nickelodeon where it was kind of like, okay, we're a little too old to be watching Nickelodeon.
Right. Yeah.
So it was like the
Different
next
era.
generation.
Yeah.
And so, I didn't know how many people were still watching cable TV and following Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, things like that. But like I said, you got 1 million followers.
Right.
So Henry Danger was popping for a lot of people, and it's still relevant and everything like that. So I just wanted to know, like, from you being in it and having a successful career and sustainable and like being able to adjust and go here and go here and go here throughout all of those changes, like just kind of like what was that like? And were you surprised when you were on Nickelodeon on like, I don't watch cable TV, but like obviously this many people do because I do get recognized at KCAs and
That's
all these other places and stuff.
Yeah. Wait, sorry. The specific question.
Yes. The question, I'm sorry, because I went around.
No,
I
was
just
like
gave a statement. So the question was, were you ever surprised about how often you were still recognized and all the recognition you got despite being on cable TV because you didn't watch cable TV?
Right. That's a good question. I guess I was, but you kind of get prepared for it. Like, as you were saying, the online aspect, like you kind of see, oh, I guess it is reaching all these people. Like I am seeing myself tagged in all these things. Okay, so people know who I am. So I guess that kind of prepared me for things like the KCAs or whatever. But it's definitely still surprising. Like I remember, I guess the first few times I went, like actually having a lot of people like crowding you, asking for pictures. Like it's always for me going to be like, whoa, what? I don't think that ever goes away because it's crazy. And you forget, because I'm just like in my day to day. I'm not thinking about, oh, all these people might be watching me right now or whatever, And now I think Henry Danger is on Netflix. So I think. So then it's like, oh.
So yeah, the kids watch. Oh yeah, the kids for sure watching that.
Yeah.
On the iPads and everything and stuff like that.
Kids.
How do you deal with people like if people ever come to you and like maybe trauma dump of like, I grew up with you, you're my childhood. Like when I see you, I see my childhood. Like, how do you kind of deal with that with strangers? Because you're like, you're dumping a lot on me and I'm just trying to pump gas. Like, how do you deal with that?
Funny. Yeah. I mean, I appreciate it, honestly. Yeah, it's an honor to be like a part of someone's childhood or life, So, and you don't get to hear it very often. Like, I don't think it's often that I get that. So when I do, like, I'm just like, wow. Like, I'm quite touched, to be honest, It's like a special thing to be able to do and to be able to have that outreach, like as an actress it's a unique experience. Like not a lot of people have that type of, impact on others. So I appreciate it and I'm grateful.
Who did you look up to growing up?
Oh gosh, so many people, like actors or just anybody.
It could be anybody. It's Black History Month, so
right,
a black person you looked up to.
Yes. I mean, like last time I said I wanted to work with Viola Davis really bad because she's just inspiring. Lupita Nyong'o, of course. I love Lakeith Stanfield, Denzel Washington. Just everybody. I don't know. I could like list everybody. To be honest, Keke Palmer.
Okay,
grew up
Keke,
watching her.
yeah.
Akilah and the Bee. Yes, I saw it up front. So loved that. Zendaya. Just so many people and artists like Basquiat and whatnot. Like I'm very into art. So, on that aspect too, but I'm just inspired by anyone doing cool things. Oh yeah. Pharrell is great. Childish Gambino. Like, yeah. I just love anyone who like has their hand in a lot of different creative pots, like that's kind of what I'd like to do. So
Donald, that's my dog. You kicked off a whole nother thing. We only have a couple more minutes. Yeah. I guess, like with Donald, when did you first like kind of discover him? And then, like what's your favorite project from him?
I discovered him watching Community, actually, and like my sister and I would watch that when we were young. I got her like this Troy and Abed in the morning shirt. Like we were just like big fans. They're so funny. So that's like where I started with him, which I think is where like most people started with him, obviously. Yeah. And then his music came out, so then I was listening to his music and I was loving that. Atlanta, I haven't seen all of Atlanta yet. I'm just gonna admit that, but and then from there, so I feel like I was like really there from the beginning of his career. I've just always been a big fan.
How does Atlanta the show compare to Atlanta the city?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I think I'm seeing a pretty different part of Atlanta than he was probably. Like I just be sitting in my hotel. I'm not really just out there like that. But I feel like it looks similar for sure. Yeah. And like I like the vibe of the people that he brought that he wrote about. I think is pretty accurate. Like just the personality that's here. Yeah.
I was in the show. And,
were you? Oh
I was in
awesome.
the club episode, the Invisible Car episode in season 1.
Wow.
So
how was that experience?
It was cool. It was mad cool because like you say, like Donald was like someone I looked up to since 6th grade.
Right.
So he was on YouTube. He used to do skits on YouTube in 2006 when YouTube first started with Derek Comedy, this group he had in college and stuff like that. So I followed him all the way up from there and stuff. And yeah, it was just really cool. We were there all day, like 15 hours and stuff like that. But you cool
that's
people.
Fun.
I was like, thank you for everything, for the inspiration. You're welcome.
Oh, that's nice. I love that.
Yeah.
So meet someone who's
and he's doing the movie, the Community movie for $50 million.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
they're doing a community.
They're doing
movie?
a community movie.
Oh my gosh,
6 seasons in the
that.
movie, and so the whole up was getting Donald on board, and they came to negotiation $50 million. So maybe. We're talking in a few years, you come back, the Henry Danger movie, and we talking about, nah, you got to do 100 to get you in the movie. So.
Right. That's so funny.
I guess what are you looking forward to? What are your goals? Everything like that and for the rest of your career?
Oh, gosh, so many things. Like, I feel like I'm a very, like, this is my problem, is being able to focus on something, I guess, because, like, I just have a lot of ideas. I'm writing right now, so leaving that vague, but like hopefully being able to write something and be a part of that. My friend and I have this idea for like a little book, and photography I'm very into, so maybe on that front doing some things, fashion designing, so hopefully align soon. Just all types of things, all types of creative things are on the horizon. So yeah.
3 fashion tips for winter 2024.
For winter tips, okay. Well, layer for starters, and layering can look really nice too if you like have complementing colors. A nice puffy vest is good. I'm particularly liking those, and it could be faux fur, but like those faux fur hats are really cool. Like the ones or the headbands.
No, I know what you're saying. They're really in style right now. Like the Cheetah Girls headband is coming back.
Those that style from the early 2000s and whatnot. And gloves, I like a good even layering gloves sometimes can be nice, and those little hand things.
Need that. Toronto is cold, man. It gets cold.
It's really cold. It's really cold. Oh yeah, and those like ankle warmers, whatever those are, those can be stylish too. Anything that like is an accessory but also keeps you warm.
Oh,
glasses also can keep you warm too, low key. So beyond that,
mask. When they brought out the mask, you'd be like, I'm staying safe, but you're really staying warm, keeping your face warm.
It does. It literally stops the wind.
Exactly.
Keep that mask on.
All right, cool. All right, cool. Where can people watch the movie, check out the movie?
Yeah.
Everything like that. Yes.
On Lifetime on streaming, but I believe it premieres February 10th. So yes, go watch.
February 10th. Make sure you check it out. Make sure you support everything like that, Miss Downs. We appreciate you stopping by so much. Where can people follow you on social media, find you, and find out what's going on next with your career, art, fashion, book, right?
Everything or nothing, and we'll see how it goes. Riele Downs on Instagram and Twitter, and I think Riele Claire on TikTok.
All right, Riele Downs in the building. Star Studio, Rashad Milligan from Rolling Out Studios in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you so much, Malik, for producing this episode. Until next time, please take care of yourselves.
Bye.